From the information center of First Coast News, this is Good Morning Jacksonville.
Breaking news, a new and growing wildfire triggers evacuations. We're live on the scene.
Weather alert, the only live Doppler on the First Coast tracking storms, how the severe weather will impact your commute and the wildfires.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Phil Amato.
And I'm Joy Purdy. It is Thursday, June 16th. Thanks for joining us. We have team coverage right now on that wildfire outbreak. Steve Smith standing by with a 2-minute advantage and how that will impact the flames.
Also, Roger Weeder following just how heavy and dangerous the smoke is this morning. But first, let's go to Eric Spivey. He's on the scene of the newest fire in Waycross. Eric, we understand evacuations are underway, right now, right?
More than 100 families have been evacuated due to this fire. We're along State Road 122, about 6 miles west of Waycross, where they have roadblocks along the road. No one's allowed through here for through traffic, except for all the firefighters that were here. And we do have some video that we just fed back to the information center this morning showing the firefighters coming back from the firefight. Again, they estimate that this fire is around 4,000 acres, and the fire chief, Dennis King, told us that it got to the doorstep of some of the homes. So that's dangerously close to some homes here in Waycross. Good news, no structures have been destroyed yet, but Dennis Keene says that could all change depending on the weather. They're waiting for more crews to come in from around Georgia to set up more fire lines around this fire to try to get it contained, but he admits that they're still in the early stages of this fire and the firefight could last several days. They're still waiting on some of that rain to come through. What they're also waiting to look at are the winds, which direction they'll blow and if it could spread to other homes in the area. So for the latest on the weather conditions, we're going to turn it over to Steve Smith back in the Weather Center. Steve?
Okay, thank you, Eric, and good morning, everyone. You saw Eric nice and dry. That's what they're seeing in Waycross, but a couple of hours ago, they were getting pounded by the same system that's just moved offshore. Now we're watching this one to the west that's over Baker County, nowhere near as strong. This one's starting to weaken. The earlier one, 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts. You had 2/3 of an inch of rain over on the north side, and it was quite interesting to watch that. But now we'll go ahead and start to track this new one because it's moving to the east at about, we'll call it 25 to 30 miles an hour. So we'll go ahead and stretch it to due east. And between now and 7:31, we're talking about Doctors Inlet at 6:45, 6:53, the Ortega area, Durbin at 7:21, at 7:31, probably Jacksonville Beach, if not hitting there sooner. But again, this one not packing as much punch, but it's still got the rain, it's still got the lightning, you're still going to hear the rumbles, but it's helping to clear the atmosphere out. Look at what's happening with our air quality index. The forecast is moderate today, and currently we're barely in the moderate range. Let's go out to Roger Weeder, who's also outside having to deal with that smoke that's choking the First Coast. Roger.
Well, Steve, it's a little better this morning. As you mentioned, some rumbling, thunder, lightning, and some rain downtown around 4:30, but it's been dry for the past hour, hour and a half. As you mentioned, the air quality is now in the moderate range. Yesterday, though, it spiked. It was in the hazardous category. Now, the city has monitoring stations. They've been keeping track of everything. Now, typically on a given day, the index is in the single digits. But yesterday, it was nearly 400, and that is cause for concern, especially for people who are elderly, young kids, and those with respiratory problems. So the advisory today is, as we mentioned, is in the moderate range. Still use caution if you're going to be outside and if you're in one of those categories with needs where air quality can impact your daily life. But again, some rain downtown. The air feels and smells a lot better this morning. Not much smoke, but if you were downtown yesterday, this place was full of smoke. Reporting live from downtown, Roger Weeder, First Coast News.
And I'm Corinne Hotel at the VyStar Credit Union Traffic Center in for Amanda Zitzman this morning. Right now, things are building on our roads. We are following 2 accidents at this time. The first one is an injury crash on University Boulevard northbound at Holly Avenue. The other one we are tracking is on I-95 northbound at University Boulevard. Now, this is the one that is causing a lot of headaches for our drivers this morning. Take a look at this. Now, just recently, one of the police officers moved over one lane, allowing only one right lane for drivers to get by, but it looks like he just moved once again, opening up 2 of those lanes on the right side. So things, though, are very slow right now on I-95 and University. But taking a look at your drive times, I-10 to JTB, about 7 minutes, and Lim Turner to I-10, about 6 minutes. We'll have another check of your traffic in 10 minutes.
All right, Corinne, thank you. And folks, we know a lot of you are worried about power outages. Some of you getting on our Facebook page and asking. We have just checked with JEA, and according to them, there are about 2,300 people in the Jacksonville area who are without power. It looks like the areas hardest hit are the areas near Moncrief Road and Edgewood Avenue, also the Arlington Manor neighborhood near Rohero Road, as well as near the intersection of Atlantic Boulevard and Southside Boulevard. They're scattered throughout. We will keep an eye on the power outages for you and update you throughout the newscast.
Meanwhile, fires in Palm Coast continue their massive reach. Residents in Seminole Park saw flames just feet outside their homes as firefighters raced to contain the flames. A fence was taken down by the fire and came just inches from a back porch, but firefighters were able to save all the homes. It's the same neighborhood that was nearly destroyed by fire in 1998 when more than 20 homes were taken out. Fire officials say what they're seeing this year is comparable to 1998.
That's what's scaring us, and that's why we're beefing up and making sure we have the resources.
Departments across the state have said their resources are strained by the amount of fires currently burning.
We're also keeping a close eye on St. Johns County. 22 fires burning at last check. We caught up with fire crews working one off I-95 near the St. Johns Flagler County line. The Division of Forestry says many of the fires are just smoldering, or they're small fires that can't be reached.
Well, stay with FirstCoastNews.com throughout the day for continuing coverage of our wildfires. And we want to see your pictures and hear your accounts of the smoke. Just like us on Facebook.
We're also following breaking news from overnight. Al-Qaeda says Egypt-born Ayman al-Zawahiri has officially taken over for Osama bin Laden. Bin Laden was killed in a U.S. raid in Pakistan last month. Al-Zawahiri, who will turn 60 next week, has been bin Laden's second in command. The announcement was posted on a website known to be affiliated with the terror network.
Tragic find, how a search for a fish led to a man's death.
Plus, the new developments expected today, and a woman who tried to have her husband killed.
And we're continuing to follow that breaking news of our massive wildfires causing evacuations for some. We're staying on top of the story for you. That's changing by the minute.